20-second breakdown. A credit card isn't the mark of the beast like your crazy uncle who doesn't believe in the moon would tell you. Open a bank account with BOFA. Both of these. Avoid debt like how I'm avoiding chicks by wearing this coat. If you start investing in a Roth IRA like the way I explained later on in this video, you're guaranteed to be a millionaire. Lastly, hit that like button, baby! What's up, Black Friday shoppers? Today I got me the most ancient secrets that only the most wizened of boomers have hidden away from the world behind their certificates of deposits and communities of townhomes. Of course, I'm talking about a way to make millions by using the one thing that we have that they don't. Time. They say the best time to plant a tree was 2.7 million years ago in the Middle Devonian period in upstate New York, but the second best time is today. Of course, all this information could be yours for free for just one like on this video. Spare like, ma'am. Spare like. The first thing I'd recommend is to get a credit card. A lot of us, myself included, was raised to believe that credit cards are the manifestation of pure evil. That every swipe drags you closer and closer to hell. That if you just miss one payment, you will never be free from the bondage that will ensnare you for the rest of your mortal life, forcing you to be a pariah. While everyone else gets the pizza, you get the crust. Now obviously that's not true. While yes, credit card interest may be high, it is essential to establishing what is known as a credit score. A credit score is used by banks to establish how trustworthy you are whenever they loan you big money for something like a house or a car. And despite popular belief, a credit score isn't just how often you pay those debts, but how frequently you get yourself into debt, which isn't always a bad thing. Like most things, debt can be leveraged to make some real big money moves. And a credit card is a great means to establish this by the fact that you don't need a credit score to apply. Kind of stops it from being a chicken and egg sort of problem. In fact, I would even recommend taking out a credit card if you're older and you don't have one. The trick to getting it to work for you is simply by paying things that you can already afford today and ensure that you pay those payments back every month. Set an alarm, write it on the card, tattoo it on your oldest son's forehead so you can ensure that you know when your credit card payment is due. All you need to do is log in, pay it off. For example, my first credit card was the Citi Double Cash, not sponsored. I had no credit during my sophomore year of college whenever I first received it, and I only used it to pay off the gas that I was using to go to and from school. You get 2% cash back with everything that you use this card for, meaning that you actually save some money in the long run. In addition, there's also a 1% cash back when you actually pay the bills, further increasing your savings. But again, I stress to you, don't go crazy with the spending and just pay the card every single month. This would launch your credit score to the mid 700s, ensuring that you're able to get any sort of mortgage or car loan if you ever find yourself wanting one. Some good credit cards I'd recommend starting out with are the Discover It, the Citi Double Cash, as well as the Chase Freedom. All of these offer cash back as well as low interest rates, which kind of doesn't matter if you pay your card off in time every month. Again, they require no credit to get into, and they only require maybe depending on the card, a $100 or $200 deposit to get started. But once you get that rolling, you are far and above ahead of everybody else. Second is to open a bank account. If 21 Savage came up with a song about it, then you probably should do it. Oh, okay. Maybe not everything. I'm gonna come out and say it. Adults have bank accounts. And if you consider yourself an adult, you're doing yourself a disservice by not engaging with this sort of thing. More importantly, it's best that if you get a bank account for yourself that you're not sharing with siblings or even your parents. You shouldn't have to pay anything to open an account, and it only requires a $100 or $200 deposit and a few minutes of your time. Don't worry about the lizard people giving you $3.56 in interest to use your money. They're busy setting up 5G. That way they can melt your teeth and make you more reliant on Big Smoothie to feed yourself and your family. By the way, check out Chuck Tingle's new book, Not Pounded by the Conspiracy Theory that I shared online because it's not real. No reason. No reason at all. I would suggest opening a bank account in one of two places. First, I would recommend a local credit union. Credit unions offer better savings rates than the bigger banks out there and are more likely to help if your account ever gets hacked or something unfortunate was to happen. Keeping your cash local is very nice to have just in case that if you ever need to pay something out directly in cash or if you receive something that wasn't directly deposited into your account. Another I would recommend is an online bank like Ally. Since they don't got to pay for the upkeep of physical locations around the world, they funnel that money back into the interest rates that end up with you for keeping your money with them. Their app is useful, it's clean, and I really recommend Ally if you were to use an online bank. So to reiterate, you want to have an account that is solely owned by you, as well as have your money in a place that you can access it quickly if need be. And while you won't be making any notable interest, something is better than nothing. And hitting that like button is even better than that. Point numero 3 is to open up what is called a Roth IRA. Invented back in the dark ages of 1993 by a man named Streetlamp P. Roth. It is a brilliant savings vehicle to where you actually pay your taxes today when you put the money in, instead of in the future when you take out your millions of dollars. It means that everything that you actually put into it is your money entirely, and you never have to worry about taxes when you take it out. The best part is the passive interest it generates. Averaging at 6%, if you were just to put in $2,000 a year starting at age 20, you would end up with $307,523.93. And that is far and away better than the $78,000 if you would have just kept it in your mattress. What's even better is the maximum amount that you can put into it without getting too technical, and that's $6,000 a year after 2018. Meaning that if we were 20 and we were to start putting in the maximum year after year, we would end up with $922,571.79 as compared to the $234,000 we would have in our piggy bank by the age of 59. This is probably the best piece of advice I can offer, because I don't think many of us are going to end up on Shark Tank being turned down by Barbara, and we'll still end up a millionaire when it matters the most. Keeping up the list, point 4 is just to simply stay out of debt. I'm talking about auto loans, personal loans, payday loans at cerebellum. Basically, if the reason why you went into debt wasn't to make money, then there really isn't too much of a reason to have it. Usually the interest on these type of loans suck, meaning that you would have to pay way more than if you just paid cash. In my humblest opinion, the worst of these is auto loans and retail credit cards. Starting with car notes, typically you have to pay additional hidden fees as well as the interest on the car note itself. Take it from me, I worked at a dealership for a year. Paying for a car with cash usually means you get a discount on the sticker price, and more importantly, makes you avoid the finance department, as they usually throw on extra fees and additional features such as permaplate and 6 stick-figure family photos on the back of your car. Dealerships aren't out to get you, and that could be its own video. But you need to be careful with what you sign up for and where you put your money. Company credit cards such as Home Depot and Lowe's are the worst. Imagine if you had a credit card with typically higher interest rates than the ones I mentioned earlier, and it's only for a place that you visit once every few months. Ugh. Unless you're a contractor and or frequent these places, having a card with them probably doesn't net you anything. One could argue that it's a way to raise your credit score. As I mentioned earlier, your willingness into debt influences that significantly. But there are so many better ways than doing that. I mean, you could even sell your organs to buy life insurance on Kim Jong-un, and that seems like a smarter idea. We're getting really close to finishing up. Point 5 is to get a jab. I'm not saying this because the boomer secrets have corrupted my mind, but because there's some truth to them. The sooner you start building capital, the sooner you can use it to really develop a means of income. Spending 3 months working at McArby's and then investing that money into a, I don't know, custom sock store seems like a better way than just using your $10 a week salary towards it. Allowance. I call it a salary. Even if you don't want to start a business, you're still going to need $100 or so to open up that bank account I mentioned earlier, as well as really do anything. They say a millionaire has 6 different forms of income, so it's important that you secure your first. Sure, you might be working somewhere that isn't cool or isn't challenging, but remember, you're only spending a few months to either work your way up the company to something that is cool and challenging, or just doing your own thing. Point 6 is the most important of them all, and is probably the hardest one to do, and might even shock you. And that is to simply live below your means. Lifestyle inflation is what kills every single lottery winner and ruins many families where one parent gets a raise. The trick is to keep your monthly expenses to a minimum. Rent, utilities, food, a little bit of fun money, but just make sure that you save everything else. They say people in your 20s respect you for how much you spend, but people in your 30s respect you for how much you save. Now, some of you might have done a double take when I said fun money. Well, that's because we're not robots, brother. You need to have some fun every once in a while. Be it eating out once a week or engaging in a hobby, it's fun to do something to keep you going, man, but just don't go overboard. So many people think that being fiscally responsible is like being on a diet, to where if you just have one bad meal off the train, then you're gonna end up on my 600-pound life. Whereas it's more of a mindset to where you set a goal and you change things in your life to reach that goal. Dave Ramsey, a famous financial speaker's favorite quote is, "If you live like nobody else, you will get to live like nobody else." Meaning that if you save what you can and cut back a little bit, then you will have a point in your future to where you'll never have to worry about financial stresses or worries. The last thing I want to mention is to really figure out if you want to go to college or not. If you want to be something like a computer programmer or an artist, then school may not be the best option for you, as there are millions upon millions of free resources online. If you're not too sure with what you want to be, there is nothing wrong with taking a year or two off to really figure it out, as opposed to just jumping into school, spending tens of thousands of dollars, and quite potentially change your major. You would jump off of a bridge if you saw your friends doing it, would you? Well, this is, for the most part, financially the same thing. If anything, I always recommend picking up a trade such as plumbing or becoming an electrician. Those jobs are well paying, they're specialized, they're always in high demand, and they allow you to open up your own business once you get far enough in your training. Honestly, it's something I would have looked into if I was somehow able to see how my accounting degree panned out in the future. It's valuable knowledge, but it hasn't exactly pulled a profit for me yet, especially considering how much debt I went into to get it. If you have a means for paying for school such as scholarships, being European, or military benefits, then really focus on what you can to keep yourself ahead. Take advantage of what you have and really use it to propel yourself along so you can retire earlier than most. And that will do it. I know it's kind of all over the place, but let's be honest here, your teens are a very scary time. You suddenly have to stop what you've been doing your whole life, and then you're thrust out into the real world and expected to have an answer when that one annoying aunt asks you what you want to major in college. Just tell her you're getting a BS and you're not standing for hers. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button down below, subscribe, bells, comments. I want to see your comments, baby. Let's see what you got. And then I'll hit you up with another video soon. I'll talk to you later.